hear my breeze. Can I hear my breeze and crack the window?
If you blow it up, if you blow it up, then
yeah, I am.
like it'll clog. I'm telling you, my nose will get
I
clogged.
am. I'm gonna blow it up. Well, how's Seagram's top get in my pocket?
Alright, we live. Let me see.
Okay. Let me open this one.
Alright. Hey, if y'all watching this, make sure y'all like and subscribe. We about to have a good conversation. Let me know if y'all like the one I did with my grandpa. Papa, granddad. You got the whole thing open?
Huh? Oh, I just, yo, wine acting crazy.
Alright, is this? Yeah, this good. So yeah, we really about to just talk about what it was like growing up and all that. I think, yeah, you can see good. Mm-hmm. So we got this Walmart or the Meyer sushi, and we got this barefoot wine. It's like sizzling like pop, so it ain't. It's funny. I mean, it'll get the job done, but it don't really taste too good though. Don't drink barefoot.
No, and what is this? California Delicious Sweet
Red
Moscato. Like we drinking pop.
What they say? I'm about to go live. I'm about to watch the live on my iPad so I can see the comments. So this is my mama right here.
Hey y'all, what's up?
From the east side of Detroit, and I wanted to bring her on. We've been waiting to get one in and talk. So like, I got my granddad on here, and then what up, Stephen? I got my granddad on here, and then he opened up a good conversation. So I just really want to do this since I just hit 100,000 subscribers too. So shout out to y'all for helping me hit 100,000 subscribers. That's big. I've been doing YouTube for over like, let me see, 10 plus years, and then I finally hit 100,000 subscribers. So don't give up. Let me know what y'all want to see. And I just thought this would have been a perfect interview for that 100,000 subscribers, just so y'all can get to know me more. So like and make sure you subscribe. So what was it like for you growing up in general? I want you to get started that way. What was it like you growing up in general?
I mean, I had a good childhood, a lot of fun. It was more like nothing like how it is now. We had the swim-mobile, used to go to the recreation center. Like furthest when we was little kids, everything was kind of fun. I wish it was like that now, how we had it back then, because it was way more fun. Didn't have to worry about getting abducted nowhere.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we used to, as long as we home before the street lights come on, we was good. And we was summer everywhere. Me and my sister used to catch the bus downtown at 10. Greektown.
What was Greek? Because Greektown, wow, Greektown in Detroit. Nah, it's fun. I like it. But was it still banging how it is now?
I mean, yeah, it was. But we really didn't hang out downtown like that. We were more, when I got to the age to really hanging out, we would go like to Skateland on Warren and stuff like that. It was more house parties.
Yeah.
And stuff like that but furthest, my kid years, it was fun. I mean, I was summer everywhere, a kid. And now that I'm older, like, what was my mama thinking? Let me be all the way downtown catching the bus. It's a group of us catching on the bus, doing all type of stuff.
Well, it do seem like back then with the music, the house party scene, it seemed like people was community focused. Now it's just more internet, social media.
Yeah, because you'll have your neighbors watching. I seen punkin' such and such, or you had your neighbors being a parent too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Now you can't tell another kid nothing really. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They'll be ready to fight you because you telling them about their kid. So it's nothing like how it was now. You still got the same people with some of the same morals, but half of them is gone or fiended out somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Which means on drugs, like fiend out, right? So, all right, let's get into like what was it like when you had me? What was that struggle like to be like, all right, I'm worried about this, and what was that process like? Dang, I'm worried about having a kid this early and all that, and then just being like, you know what, I'm gonna do this, you know?
Yeah, like when I found out, I didn't even your grandma really didn't even tell me about the rules of having sex and getting pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know I was pregnant. I'm literally still a kid. Mm-hmm. So I had to get surgery on my foot. And, they did the blood work or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then they had called her and told her I was pregnant. I didn't even know I was pregnant. I was like probably 3 or 4 months when I even found out I was pregnant. Ooh. So your grandma asked me like, "Do you want to get an abortion and all that?" I'm like, "No." You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I didn't know how to raise no kid, or I didn't know. It was like you was my little brother.
Yeah, because
Pretty
you was
much.
15, right? 15.
Yeah. I got pregnant with you when I was 14 and had you at 15.
Yeah, and then so what was that transition like? Okay, now I'm about to have a kid. Was it just like a lot of fear? Like, all right, boom, like what I'm gonna do next and all that, and just panic or what?
I mean, it's like it's kind of different because at doing that, you got to think I was still a kid and had a kid mind. You know what I'm saying? So when I had you, I mean, I had your grandma. She was like, "I know you still a kid and want to have your life, so I help you with them as much." But it's a lot of stuff in the environment I had you around that you really shouldn't have been around as a kid, and as a parent should have a kid. You get what I'm saying? But I'm a kid myself.
Yeah.
So it's just like me hanging around with one of my brothers or you know what I'm saying?
You
And
saying
the
when I
reality
was-
really
when I
didn't
was
hit
born
that.
and all that?
Yeah, really didn't hit that I had a kid. Like for the most part, I was, being a mama, but for the most part, I still wanted to be out,
Yeah.
doing my thing. Still took care of you, the best I can. You know what I'm saying?
I remember one memory we was on the east side, and then you gave me to somebody I can't remember, and I was crying. I think it was my auntie. I'm crying, mama, and I'm screaming, just cause like you had left, right? And I remember one of them early memories, like yeah, like I'm like, what's going on? But that's how kids be though.
Yes, because every time I leave the house, you'll be at the door screaming. I literally had to sneak out the house for you to. So I knew you was
I get
cutting
that now.
up when I left. But I had to literally sneak out the house because you would be at the door screaming, crying for me to come back.
Yeah. So then we on the east side. I remember a little bit of that. I seen some of the videotapes and all that at my birthday parties and all that, the cassette tapes. It was cool, and then it was like fast forward, we moved to Dexter. Right? You want to go to that part where we moved to Dexter or what?
Well, when
Or you still want to say more about like what was it like on the east side? Because it was cool. I remember being over
Yeah,
there. We
'cause
was
I
cool with
mean,
everybody on the east side.
yeah, like when I had you or whatever. I mean, Eastside, we was staying on McDougal grass shit. Straight. I don't know how much of my information I want to put on.
No, you good. You ain't got to do all that. Yeah,
Right. So, I think I was like, I had to be 18 when we moved to Dexter.
Okay, so that'll make me how old? Like what? Cause I don't remember
You
when
was like, I'll say about 5.
Okay, cause I got
4 or
pictures of that. Yeah,
5. Yeah, you was like 4 or 5. We had a situation to where we had, because your grandma had moved to Milwaukee, and we was still staying in the house on McDougal.
Where was Popeye? He was out of town too.
Yeah, he used to travel in and out of town. So we moved over there, and we moved on Lawrence, and Dad had a house on Lawrence, so we had moved over there with Dad on Lawrence for a while, because we had a situation on the east side where we had to, leave. We couldn't be over there no more, so we moved on Lawrence at Dexter, the 2-family flat. I can remember when the Dexter boys on Lawrence used to ride past in their drop tops. You would be standing on the top porch throwing your D's up. That's you.
Hey.
You was little out there. They used to, every time they see you or whatever, they'll come give you dollars, candies or whatever, just cause.
So throwing your
you know
D's
what
up
I'm
is
saying?
like this. So they say some of it is like Bloods, but Dexter, right?
Yeah,
So people
Dexter.
like D, or you could do. Some people do it for Detroit, but where I'm from, the hood I'm from, we throw our D's up. It's for Dexter, so it's Dexter and Linwood. So he said I'll be outside like
On the top porch when they ride up the street.
that's crazy because I remember when I first moved over there, and I remember going. I don't know what it was, but when I went to school, it was like I was a new guy, the new kid. So then I remember James. He was like big, husky, taller than me, bigger than me, and he was like he ran up and like pushed me, and I like fell, and then he like stood over me, and I'm thinking he about to try to swing at me. So I'm 5'6". I'm like, okay, well, I'm just confused. Like he came out of nowhere, ran up on me, was like boom, I fell to the ground, and then I'm like, I'm on the ground. I'm like, Like, what? And then he like, welcome to Dexter, B. And I'm like, I'm looking at him like, oh, okay, right. It was like an introduction, like, yeah, you in a new hood. And then he, like, I got up and that was it. Then I started going to school. And I remember that's when I go there. And then I had this mentality already, like, protect myself. So when I was in elementary, I'm already bringing weapons. I'm already bringing stuff to protect myself.
And then, see, you didn't get enrolled in Bernie when we stayed on Lawrence. You, once Dad bought the house on Tuxedo, that's when you got enrolled in Bernie. Mm-hmm. And I had got pregnant to me. So that's when we moved on Tuxedo and you started going to Bernie.
Yeah, because I remember that. I don't know what it was, but early in my mind, I think because my environment, like, even though we look at pictures, the grass green, his houses, the environment still was like, I felt like, all right, I got to leave my mark over here. I got to get familiar. People got to get to know me over here. So when I moved over there, I'm going to school and then everybody started like kind of picking at me. That's what it was like when we moved. Because I remember us moving a lot. And then we had the Cadillac where you had to crank it up with the wires and all that. And then, you know, I remember just like all the struggle for real. But we made it through. We moving around. And every school I went to, it was rough schools, but we kept moving. So I finally like felt like I was settled there. So everybody like, all right, welcome to Dexter. Mm-hmm. And I remember some of my earliest memories was like going to school and just feeling like, okay, we moving a lot. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here now. And then once I was there, people started kind of messing with me. So every year on my birthdays, all my cousins would come over and we'd go track down everybody who was messing with me and picking on me. Because they like, all right.
See, and I ain't know none of this.
They
I get so many knocks at my door. Well, your son did this. And I'm looking like, no, he couldn't. Because Trey was a sweetheart at home. I ain't believe none of that until I actually start seeing it for myself.
Yeah, like, and then another time, it was always the kids bigger than me. It was another guy, John. Out of nowhere, we in the bathroom, and out of nowhere, he just punched me in the nose. And I'm just like, it hurted. I was stunned. I could, like, a lot of the first memories was people doing stuff. And it caught me off guard so quick that I wasn't expecting it. I couldn't really fight back or nothing. It was like James pushed me. He way bigger than me. And I'm just like, all right, like, I ain't never been in a fight. Like, and then James hit me in the nose. And then it was over, or it was John. Then over time, it was like, all right, any birthday party I have, I got 20 cousins coming over. Mm-hmm. All right, I know where Dog live at. He on this block. And they're like, all right, Trey, go handle your business. And they all standing right there like, yeah. So I run up on them, get the piecing them up. We jumping some of them. We getting back for real. Like, all right, everybody who was trying to play with me all year. Right. When June 17 come around, people knew like, oh yeah, we better hide.
And then that's my thing. I don't condone bullies. I hate bullies. And that's what I always tell y'all. I don't care. I deal with the consequences. If somebody put their hands on you, you for sure put your hand. It's so much talking you could do. And these days, ain't nobody trying to talk nothing out or do none of that. It's straight. They want to get straight to the point. Get straight to it.
They're shooting all that now. Because, yeah, when I was growing up, it was a lot of fighting, right? Even if we was fighting and jumping and all that, it still was hands. It was all hands. Mm-hmm. It wasn't shooting, none of that. And then, I just remember a lot of that, yeah, like we growing up and it's just everybody was kind of picking at me. And then like once I got old enough to being like, I don't know, what was that turning point? I think it was my cousins. They letting me know like, look, bro, like we feel you too soft. So they training me, they making me do push-ups. They like, man, you got to get toughened up. So they got us wrestling each other, like we boxing, wrestling each other, all my other cousins, and they bigger than me, and then that kind of toughened me up. Mm-hmm. So then when I started going back to school and then they start running up on me like, oh yeah, we about to jump Trey, whatever. That's when I really just got busy. And then it went from me getting picked on to not every day I'm finding other people and I'm picking on them. I'm messing with them. And I'm smaller than everybody, really just running up. If I got to get a stick and just run up on somebody, whop. Like, I just started really messing with everybody else. And then people got word, like, all right, boom, like, leave Dog alone, he good. But I was like, no, y'all got me here, so ain't this what y'all want? Come on, let's go. You know?
And it shouldn't even been all like that, but kids gonna be kids. Until you finally get that statement, like, he not going, this is not that. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as you let somebody keep pushing them buttons and bullying on you, they're gonna keep doing it.
And my reaction went from me not being ready for it to me being like, oh, Dog looked at me wrong. Oh, yeah, let's go. Mm-hmm. And it became more of like me becoming the aggressor because it was like, I'm not about to let somebody just swing on me out of nowhere. You get close enough, I'm on you. You know what I mean? So that's how I started protecting myself. Like, okay, people keep getting close. They kept tackling me, hitting me. So I'm like, all right, bet it's go time now. So then, I don't know. I think when I hit, everything changed because I was doing little stuff like Didi said, shot Sade with the BB gun in the head, and then all this little stuff I'm doing, we fighting and all that. But when I turned like 13, that's when it was like, dang, people getting killed out here. Like
it got real.
One of my best friends got killed. Like, and I don't know, I don't remember how old he was. He probably was like 16, 17. And then it was normal. It was like I walked to the store, I see guys with guns, but these was all our people. It was like they protecting our community, because then we knew when we see a car that rolled through the hood and we didn't recognize them, that's when the shooting starts. So if a new car rolled through, we didn't notice, they pulling up shooting at us. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, well, that's when I had to think, like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna sit there and be hiding from it, or am I gonna get active and be ready for it? So that's when I really got deep in the streets. And I remember you and Uno was just wondering, like, man, what's going on? Like, why he like this? What's going on? Because that's when I bought my first gun. That's when I really was like, all right, I'm about to start trapping. I'm about to start selling weed, all that, when I was like 13 or 14. And then I'm going to the studio too. I'm recording music and I'm rapping about it. And then that's when I met one of my childhood friends. He grew up way worse than me. He was going through it, but he already had dove in earlier than I did. So he was kind of teaching me the ropes of the streets. So then we got into stealing cars. That was some of my first YouTube videos. We stealing cars, putting it on YouTube. And then I remember, like, man, I got to delete some of this. So we just started rapping about,
What you talking about?
Spoon. So that's when we started.
But if you could I know you probably don't know, but when I was pregnant with Chew, Deidre was pregnant with him. And me and Deidre, when Auntie Lynette stayed on Amherst, and I used to come over there and visit Auntie Lynette, I was pregnant with you, and me and Deidre met. So y'all was knowing each other before y'all even was, when y'all was in the womb. It's just that we had reconnected back. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all got cooler, because y'all always been around each other. It's just that once y'all got a little older.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because me and Deidre was pregnant kids at the same, because you know me and her the same age.
And that was like a brother,
time.
you know, he felt like a brother to me, right? So when he going through stuff, he teaching me. I remember it was like I had to. I'm walking one time, and then it's just, we in his hood, and then this one kid following me, and he like, man, leave him alone, leave Trey alone. So he like, nah, bro, I want to mess with him. Who is this? Why he over here in our hood? Because me and him was really, he told me I shouldn't even be over there because people didn't know me like that. So he like, man, all right, if you want to come over here, you got to come with me, though, because people don't know you over here. It's dangerous. So then we walking, and somebody, even the beef was so real that in just the streets when I was growing up, that even at the age I was at 12, 11, it fed down to the kids. So I'm 11 walking through the hood, and he like, homeboy run up on me. He like, hey, bro, what's up with dog with the braids? I had some braids. And then he like, man, Trey, what you want to do about it? I'm like, man, I don't want to fight, like, you know. And then the guy kept following me, or the kid was like my age, he kept following me. He like, man, what's up? And then my man's was like, bro, he said he don't want to fight, you heard him? So he kept following us. So he like, all right, man. He turned around and swung on him, dropped him against the fence, and was like, bop, 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 and just didn't. I was like, oh my God.
Spoon, he was a sweetheart to me. Like, all of your friends that came around, I know they was cut and out there, but for a fact, they always showed me love and respect and loved me, because I did the same thing. If they ain't had nowhere to go, they needed food, whatever, you need somewhere to lay, get your mind together, you know, figure stuff out, you could always come here. My door was always open. But he was out here wild, you know what I'm saying? And I just wish he wouldn't end up the way he was, because he did have so much potential. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
we used to play
We
used to play cops and robbers, all that, you know. And then it was just crazy, because like I remember when he pieced homeboy up, homeboy got up and walked away, and people feared him for that. And then he was like, Trey, man, you gotta stop, man. You if somebody want to fight you, man, I know you don't just be wanting to fight all the time, but you can't do that, bro. You gotta turn up and let them know. And I'm just like, oh, why do everybody just want to fight all the time? To the point it had to become a natural reaction. I was too hesitant, and I do Muay Thai, not kickboxing. The coach would just run up and try to like swing or something like that, and be like, if you flinch, then it's consequences. Or if I tell you to come on and spar with me, he, you know, trained killer, right? He brutal with his hands, his elbows, and all that. But if he say, "Come on, let's fight," you can't be like, "I don't want to." I remember I was like, "Let me take my piercing out." He was like, "You're scared. Never mind." I was like, "What?" He like, "You hesitate. You die in the real world if you hesitate." I'm like, "Dang, he got a point," because that reminded me like growing up. And it's kickboxing. He like, I tell you to come on, let's fight. In the real world, you ain't about to be like, let me take out my nose ring. He
you
like,
gonna get straight to it.
yeah, he like, when I tell you to fight, we just got to do it. And I'm like, dang, that's a good point. And he a pro fighter, right? So it's the same thing growing up. And once I stopped hating to respond and fight, that's when I think I became more violent. It was like, okay, I gotta protect myself. It was like, people want to play with me, I can't hesitate. I gotta get straight into it. And that's when it got worse. So I remember when it was like, it was a lot of stuff that happened like growing up on Dexter. But then once I started getting into trapping and all that, and being trained by people in the streets that was teaching me how to make money, how to protect myself, survive, we move again, because it was like, man, I got to get him out of. I was in Milwaukee, I was in Kansas, getting sent out of town.
And then when you was in Milwaukee, because I could remember, we had moved off Tuxedo, and I had moved. Me and Leah had got a house and was roommating, and because Uno was about to get ready to get out of jail, so I had left Tuxedo and went over there or whatever. And Mom was like, "Do you want him to come down here with me? You know, by you getting in all this trouble, doing all this." And I'm like, "I didn't want you to go because you is my son, but you up here doing too much." So because if you can remember, we were staying on Mackinac, and you start going to
Chassis.
No, when we were staying on Warren, you went to Chassis.
Oh.
You was going to what's the school on Broad Street?
Winterhalter.
Winterhalter.
Them boys in there.
So I was like, yeah.
Winterhalter. That's when I went to, what was that, middle school? Middle school. So
that's why, and I'm not
ruthless.
knowing you was in Milwaukee turning up and doing all this in Milwaukee. I'm thinking you down there with mine, everything cool. And that's, matter of fact, when I was staying on Helen, that's when you left. When I went to moved on Mackinac, that's when you came back home and went to Winterhalter.
Yeah, Winterhalter was brutal. Even the security guards was brutal in there. They'd be like, "Get in line to get y'all food." It was like prison. They say right now that's like institutionalized, like racism, or not. What they say, the school to prison pipeline, where the schools are already like prison and they get kids ready for prison. Man, we had a police guard, like, "Get in line to get y'all food. Go to class." And they had us lined up like we was in prison for real. So then I remember one time, it was a guy I think he was special education. And I remember somebody had hit him. And when I say that whole lunchroom turned into a riot, because they like, "Bro, who just hit him?" I remember somebody hopped up like, "Hit me like that. Why y'all picking on a weak kid? Hit me." And then they pointed out the guy who did it. They got them rocking him. And then everybody just started going crazy. Everybody just rioting. Bang, bang. The wasabi, oh yeah, that's going to tear you up. Yeah, they like everybody rioting, right? So I had to learn quick, like, oh yeah, you either pick a squad or you pick a gang. But I'm like, already cool. I earned my stripes on Dexter at that point. I just had respect. But then it was like, you gotta be ready. This is another level. This is where they really for real got gangs and all that. So then I remember I go in the bathroom one time and then they're like, "Oh yeah, new boy in the bathroom." I turn around. I think it was Winterhalter. Yeah, I turn around. I'm like, "Bro, what?" So then I turn around. I'm like, "Man, what's up?" So I put my, because you remember, no hesitation. I'm like, "Put my hands up. Let's go." Because they poured the trash can in the middle of the floor. Like, "Yeah, we about to put new boy in the trash can." I threw my hands up like, "All right, bro, let's get it. Let's start it. What we waiting on?" You know, like I'm like, "Come on, let's get the process started." You know, y'all might put me in there, but we about to duke it out. So then they like, "Oh, he cool, new boy cool, he with us." And then they mess somebody else up. I'm like, "That ain't my business." Walked up out of there. Whatever other new boy, they lumped him up, and I just walked up out of there like, look.
Because after we moved there, that's when we moved on Warren.
Ooh, that was another one. When we moved on Warren, that's when we in a whole nother hood. They like, "Bro, you from Dexter?" Nah, we move over there. It was a whole nother thing where they was trying to jump me over there. A girl tried to set me up, come to my house, and then 10 guys coming up the street. And then they like, oh, that's Trey, bro. He cool. Just happened to dap me up. I'm like, Warren was different. I knew like, oh yeah, that's when you getting older. You like, oh, I could be killed. Like it ain't just fighting no more. It's like I remember Deidre telling us like, y'all looking like grown men out here. Y'all better be careful. Y'all out here with these leather coats on. And she gave us a speech like, y'all got to be careful out here. Y'all starting to get older. Even though y'all 13, 14, y'all still carry yourself like grown men.
About Deidre, God rest her soul. She love you to death, give you the whatever off her back, but she was cut too, for real. That's where Teaspoon had got all that from her. Watching her. You know what I'm saying? Because she was cut for real.
Yeah, she told us like, y'all look like grown men out here. Y'all better get it together. Like y'all really better get it together. And then like I remember seeing that. I'm like, dang, this guy's my age getting dropped. You know what I mean? They 14 getting dropped. So that's why I'm like, all right, it's time to just protect ourselves. And that's when I really started getting deeper and deeper into the streets, and end up really like falling out with some guys. And it was like, man, I got to get out of here, man, because this is bad. It was like I fell out with some guys just in the hood, and then it was like we got to get out of Detroit in general. And once we was like, you moved us out to the suburbs, you moved us out, and I'm back and forth in Milwaukee. So when I'm in Milwaukee, same thing. I had this mindset. So somebody was trying to pick on me out there. I end up, the guy bigger than me, he trying to pick on me and play with me. I'm out there. I got a squad. I got a crew out of Milwaukee too that I got people that got my back. So big dog trying to run up on me and that crazy, man. I had this little screwdriver, stuck him up good. And then I got kicked out of all public schools. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting bullied in a whole nother city. And they bigger than me. It's racism, all that. So I'm like, I can't let nobody play with me. So I'm like, okay, bet. End up getting kicked out of school. They end up sending me to some like isolated school from the general public. So I had to go to school out there. And I'm like, man, I know I'm not crazy. These people keep messing with me and playing with me. Like I just can't let it happen. People getting killed where I'm from. I can't play with these people and just school fight with them. Right. You know what I mean? And then go back to Detroit. We moved to the suburbs. We get into some other. It's like everywhere I went, I'm getting into it. I'm getting into everything. And then I'm like, okay, find other guys out there, that's in the streets. But they, we coach, we talking, they coaching me, they got my back. So next thing you know, like, same thing. Somebody tried to play with me again, and it was like, this time it was bad. This time it was like I loved being out there. It was a lot safer than being in Detroit. Because when I was in Detroit, you would die from any little thing. Yeah, but in Milwaukee and Kansas and Taylor, it was like, we can get into it, and the worst thing that's going to happen is jail time. I'm like, that's better than getting killed over something, because where I come from.
Oh my God, that was crazy. But then,
what was crazy?
The whole situation when you had stabbed the boy out there. But even though I know, it was wrong, you stabbed him, but you protecting yourself from a group of guys that's trying to attack you. Isn't that what you're supposed to do? Protect yourself?
And then when they went to
But then they playing victim all of a sudden.
They pulled out bats, crowbars, and they had weapons and video cameras, and they following me home while I'm walking.
Right.
They following me home, like, and I found out I got set up, because I'm like, they was picking on my mans, and I'm like, hey, bro, I got you, bro. If they picking on you, I got your back. I ain't know dog was really setting me up for real.
Wow, the one that you trying to protect.
Yeah, he was like, I think his family was like racist or whatever, but he was setting me up, and he got it set up to where they followed me home, and I ended up stabbing him up, and I'm like, look, dog, way bigger than me. It's a group of them. They got cameras and they got weapons, bro. What is we about to do? I'm like, I can't play with them.
And
he swung on me first. He hit me first.
And that's what I'm saying, right then and there. And I'm not racist, but that just shows how they are white, you are black. What they're going to do. It's a whole group. When it's a group of people attacking you, you have all right to defend yourself in whatever shape or form that you have to.
Yeah, and
I don't get that.
And where I messed up at is a lot of people that where we come from don't know. I ain't have a lawyer, no attorney, and I ain't have nobody to speak on my behalf. Yeah. They pinned me, but I don't really blame them, because they kicked me out, and I was supposed to go to jail for that, because they said homeboy supposed to press charges and all that for like assault or something like that, or attempt murder. And then they said he dropped the charges, so they sent me to a rejuvenation program. I got kicked out of the rejuvenation program, and basically I think I was set to go to jail, but I don't know why. Like, they dropped it, and it was like, dang, I ain't going to jail for this, okay. And it was just like, man, at the end of the day, I just want to be able to live my life and be left alone. But I know in this world, people not gonna leave you alone. You gotta be brutal in this world, cause just sometimes, like, and don't get me wrong, I was a hothead too. But when people, man, what's up, black boy? I turn up, right?
And then you actually, I seen the change in you when we moved out there to try to do better, try to do the right things. And God, that's why I think you did go to the church. You know what I'm saying? Just to do the right thing. And then I feel like that wasn't a waste of the time because you did still learn good things from that, even the way it played out. You know what I'm saying? And finding out people true colors. It was messed up, but still that was a lesson that you learned there. So you did pick up a lot of good things from that experience, also with bad. You know what I'm saying? But
so I'll say even thinking about that now, like, you got to think, I was an innocent kid, grew up innocent, right? And then people trying to pick on me. I learned you can't hesitate. You hesitate, you die, right? It was you hesitate, you get beat up, you get punched in the nose, you get tackled. Then when I got older, you hesitate, you die. So now I'm in the burbs and these guys trying to pull up on me. You hesitate, you die. So I'm like, okay, I can't hesitate. They surrounding me. They got weapons. Look, if I hesitate, I die. You get what I mean?
Just rewind back. If they would have been able to accomplish the goal that they was trying to do, where would they be at right now?
Nowhere. I would have been dead. I would have been dead and on the news for, like, what them boys was trying to do. I would have been on the news. Black kid, blah blah blah. Man, they would have got off. They would have got off for sure. It would have been like, oh, it was just something that happened. They would have tossed that out the window if I ain't had no, like, attorneys and all that, man. But what they was on and what they was trying to do, it would have been something in the media where, like, kid gets beat to death and Taylor. That's what it would have been. Like, I can look back at the situation and say, if I ain't do what I did, them boys was ready to do whatever. And they was saying, like, bro, want to put you in the hospital. He want to kill you. No, I'm good. I'll get a little bit more for real. But they was telling me, like, yeah, he's saying he gonna put you in the hospital, he gonna kill you. So I'm already thinking, and they following me in cars. They family got money. We poor. And then my dog and them, the hood guys, they ain't nowhere to be found, running off with some girls. And I'm like, bro, y'all supposed to be here with me, right? So in my mind, it's like, I'm on my own. I gotta survive, and I did what I had to do. And I ain't gonna lie. I look back and be like, when that happened, it was almost like I went back to normal life, went back to school like it didn't happen. I went back into school. Everybody was like running like I was a like threat or something. I'm like, what's going on? But word spread so fast, and I'm glad they kicked me out of school because it gave me the space, because ain't no telling what would have happened with us all being in the same vicinity again. And I'm by myself, and it's a group of them. That's when I would have probably...
Because I think they kicked you out for like 100 and some days.
Yeah, the whole school year, 180 days, yeah.
To the library.
And I had to do school in the library.
Able to get Dutch from school and all that.
Yeah, and then I had to go to school. They let me go back to school. But that's when I started going, because I used to meet with this guy. He used to teach me about the Nation of Islam, Buddhism, Christianity, and all this stuff. And that kind of planted that seed to help me learn that. He was like, young man, like, you got meaning as a black man. He was like, he said something like, oh, look at that cereal box. It's copper and all that on the box. You made out of the dust, God. Is. And I look at the cereal box. I'm like, dang, it is copper and zinc and all that. So we are made out the dust. God do got a purpose for me. Then I stumbled across a comic book that was like, God made you with a purpose. It was a back to school event you took me to. And I'm like, dang, did God make me with a purpose? I could be forgiven and all this stuff. And it was like learning the peace side. And I know right now I don't claim to follow religion like that, but I will say, yeah, I do believe in God, right? And I believe that in that moment, it was like God used these people to speak to me. So then I started going to this Baptist church. They basically was like, oh, we got this poor black kid here. That's really what it was. We got this poor black kid here. And I stayed there for a minute. They did a lot of just shady stuff, clicking up with each other because I was poor. They had money. They'd lead me on these little ski trips we went on. I'm in the hills skiing somewhere, and they just left me by myself. So I had to make friends. But I learned social skills. I'm on the hills by myself with a whole church on a group of 50 people. They left me by myself in the hills. So I had to start learning how to make friends. I'm sitting with this white couple, like chopping it up with them on the hill. And they was like, wow, you're cool. What you doing out here? I'm like, I don't know. My friends left me, whatever. And they was like, really? A church? But that's where I learned a lot of them social skills from. And then, like, next thing you know, I found this other church when I leave that church, because they was just like, yeah, a project. He just this poor black kid. And then it was a rock and roll church. You know, my man was like, what you like to do? I'm like, I rap. I come in there, yeah, I like to rap and all that. I'm cussing. I like to rap and, you know, and I'm sagging all that. He like, man, well, look, let me work with you. They probably worked for me like 6 months to a year. Next thing you know, he like, man, we want to bring you on the road. We started traveling, touring. And looking back, I'm like, I know they said some stuff like about me being black and all that, but really, like, when I was on a road with them, you know, they spoke their mind. And I look at it as like when I was taught by the church, like, be peaceful, be passive, don't be cocky, arrogant. It almost disarmed me from being confident and protecting myself. And I was scared of like making a mistake. One of these boys, I remember a girl told me at the church, like, whispered in the pastor's son's ear, the little kid, and was like, tell him this. And the kid said, like, no blacks allowed or something like that. But you got to think, imagine if it was react, defend yourself. And I swing on one of them. It's back to the street stuff. And I'm like, man, look, I'm back in school now. I don't want to do that again. So I really let a lot of people take advantage of me in the church because it was like, man, I finally start going to church now. I get baptized and I'm like, I want to find a new life. The way they talking to me, the stuff that I would do to you for running up on me the wrong way, like, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't nothing to play with. So I'm like, okay, let me chill out. But I ended up doing it too much where to people was able to be like, oh, black sit in the back when we on tour. Oh, black, pull up your pants, you sagging. But I really think if I was like, hey, bro, say that to me one more time and watch what happened to you. Like, if I would have really been able to do that, I think they would have chilled out. Haha. Because nowadays, yeah, that's how boys talk. That's how we joking. But I will say I learned a lot from that. And the little racist stuff I dealt with them wasn't nothing compared to growing up in the trenches for real. It's like, that shouldn't have happened either way. But at least I felt safer. Like, bro, y'all ain't about to touch me, though. Y'all can talk all these yada yada as long as y'all don't put y'all hands on me. But I think part of me should have still been like, hey, bro, what was it? But they'd do it in a way where we'd be in front of everybody. It'd be 50 people and they'd make a black joke. So I'm like, dang, everybody laughing. I should have, like, nah, if people try that, it's like, bro, look, bro, you scrawny, your girl ugly, you ain't got no money. Like, for real, I'll state the facts. Like, bro, what's up? And even if your girl look good, come on, look. Like, boom, bro, look at me and look at you, what's up? Even if they on that race, is like, but that's the point. So I learned a lot of that confidence to defend myself with my words before it get violent, you know? And that's the point that I'm at now, where it's like, after being out of the church and, you know, I'm at a point in my life where I know how to use my words before it get physical. And I've been in a few situations recent where, yeah, I had to defend myself and had to pull a gun because somebody was trying to assault me and violate me, and then they wasn't about it when it came down to it. But I'm glad I'm at a point where I know how to use my words. Because I remember we was on Dexter and somebody cut in front of me, and you was like, you got to learn how to speak. You can't let these people cut in front of you. And it was a grown man, big and scary. I'm intimidated. But, like, I think now that's the point of, like, you know, I've been through so much and people look at me now. That's something I want to get into. So, should we talk about the relationship stuff at least, or on the surface level, or what?
I mean, you can on the surface level.
But yeah, so I'm with somebody, right? I go to the church, find somebody I meet. I'm with her for 8 years. We got everything. Got a house. I help. You know, to be fair, we did start off and she had the money, she had a degree, she had the house, had the car. And she seen me on stage as a rock star. We traveling across the world. We on stages, arenas, 1,000 people, 10,000 people. So my life changed at that point. I'm on the radio rapping with these white boys in skinny jeans. Yeah, they might say the N-word every now and then, but I'm out the streets. And that's what I was thinking, right? But I meet this girl, we get together and all that, and I was practicing purity culture. And it was like, no sex outside of marriage. So we was together for 6 months, and then it was this pressure on me though to get engaged, to get married. And then for 6 months, no sex, none of that, right? And people look at me now and be like, bro, what? You did what? I was with this girl for 6 months, no sex. That ain't mean we ain't do nothing, but when it come to like sex, like we ain't none of that happened for 6 months when I'm with this girl, right? And then that ain't happened until we got married, right? And it took us like, I think 8 months to a year to get married. With this girl, 8 years. I started off as the poor rock star. And then once I started kind of growing and getting in shape and getting some money and working on myself, that's when she was just like, I can't compete with you with other women. It's too much for me. And don't get me wrong, I was enjoying my new life and all that, but she was just like, I'm going to bed. I don't want to go out with you. I don't want to party with you. I don't want to be up with you. I'm going to bed. And that's kind of where we went our separate ways. We got together on the basis of she want to take care of me, but then she'd be crying and complaining about I'm broke, I ain't got no money in front of everybody, and I'm embarrassed. All the church people telling me like, oh, God gonna punish you for not taking care of your family, taking care of your girl, taking care of the household. And I'm like, I'm trying. And then this one pastor told me like, look, quit this rap stuff out and quit this social media stuff out. I had 7,000 followers on Instagram at the time. You know, TikTok, YouTube, maybe 500 subscribers. He like, bro, you need to quit all this and be there for your fam and all that. And I'm just depressed at the time. Like, bro, I'm trying my best. You telling me God gonna punish me for not taking care of them? And I'm trying, right? So then I start getting to a point where she breaking down, crying in front of all her friends that got money and all that. And they in the church and they got money. And I'm like, well, I got to do what I got to do for my girl. She been holding it down for so long. I got you, babe. Finally get to that point. Now I got to compete with you, trade with other women because you in shape now. You getting some money. Your status going up. Divorce. And that's when it was like, what? And it tore my life up, right? Was homeless. Slept in the car. All my friends turned their back. Some of my friends started, I believe, hollering at my girl. Like, all that, bro. It was crazy. Like, it was more that happened. They was trying to get me locked up to cover up a lot of the dirt that they was doing behind my back. They was trying to get me locked up, you know, and it was bad. Everything got stripped away from me. Living in a huge house, cars paid off. I had money saved up, credit perfect, 750 score. You know what I mean? I saved up 3 to 6 months of living expenses and really got on, but she was like, nah. And it was more, I think it was more of a control thing. I felt better when I was in control, right? And I can't blame her. She was just brought up a certain way where she probably dealt with some abusive guy, whatever, that felt like if she out of control, she got to run. So when she ran, it just destroyed my whole life. And then it took 2 years to finally get back on my feet. And now that I'm back on my feet, the crazy thing is, like, women will look at me for the most part and be like, F boy, he get all the girls he want, red flag, run. I don't want to mess with this guy. Why is he almost 30 and he's single? Why is this? I'm good on him. He got status, he got money, he got a nice house. I'd rather him live in my house, you know. And I remember a girl offered me to live in her house instead of me moving into where I'm at now. And it was disappointing for me, like, dang, bro, like, I built all this up. I could have been a poor rock star and been happy. But the pressure from society to take care of my girl and be married and providing drove me to be successful for real. I mean, everything else, to give back and go back to the hood and tell my story. But once I finally made it to this point, guys hate me. They don't want to be around me, right? And then women, specifically where I'm at in the Michigan area, they look at me like, oh no, like you a little too confident. You a little too handsome. We want a guy that we feel safer with. So I'm like, bro, what? So it leave me at a point where I have to be reassuring to my own self and tell myself, like, no matter how people look at me as this monster, right? Like, overall, even if I do end up by myself a lot, I have to tell myself every day it's worth it, it's worth it, it's worth it. You being by yourself and women judging you, men trying to hate on you, and
because it's more peaceful.
Yeah.
And letting that in, and it's just adding more stress. You can't think right. You can't sleep right. You worried about this and worried about that. But once you have extra stuff going on, it's going to be a problem. So it's best to just sometimes be by yourself. You could think better.
Exactly. Prosper
better. Instead of worrying about this, worrying about that, all these worries, and you forget about the number one thing, yourself.
And it was hard finally sitting here, like, but the good thing was that everything that I was running away from started to hit me, and I was able to process that and be like, dang, I lost my great grandma, I lost my stepdad, I lost my dad, I lost this person, this happened. But finally be like, you know what? I'm in a safe space to process that now because my bills paid, I got money saved up, and I don't have to run nowhere to be with nobody. Ain't nobody telling me when to be here and when to do this and when to be home. Like, I'm in a safe space to process. And if I need to up and go to Miami, up and go to Paris, up and go to Germany or London, I can do that now without somebody saying, no, you ain't leaving when you gonna be home. And it's like, I have to tell myself, like, bro, it's worth it, bro. Everything you've been through, you know?
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I'm happy where I'm at now, though. Like, just looking back, you know? Just hit 100K on here, 1 million on TikTok, 100K on Instagram, but now it's like, all right, we trying to rebuild the community. We trying to go back and take this and build with the community, not just for me to do it. I'm trying to go back and help my community and build with them, you know?
And that's the next step, the big step.
What you say? I don't know if you ain't got nothing to say. What's your thing when people be like, oh, you ain't from the streets, you don't look like you about that, you know, you ain't that, or you soft with, like, what's your thoughts when people be saying that?
I really don't care about their thoughts for real, but what people want you to be out here acting, going crazy, doing this and doing that. It's a good thing when you just don't act hood.
Mm-hmm.
You get way more further than anything instead of having that ghetto mentality or just straight acting like you thugged out and is this. We try to get away from that. We've been there so long, don't want it no more. You know what I'm saying? And I dang near been in the streets all my life. I changed a lot because of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody want that. You want better. You don't want to just sit and, just act that way. No, you want to be better. Do better things. Accomplish more. So if somebody want you to be acting and showing that you just from the streets, for what? You don't have nothing to prove to nobody but yourself. Everybody else's opinion doesn't really even matter.
Yeah, no, that's true, and I'm glad you said that. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because it's like, look,
for sure you is from that way.
And then the crazy thing is, people think it's so tough nowadays to kill somebody, rap about what time they did it, who they killed, where they did it at, and I'm like, bro,
and why would you do that? That's just dumb. You trying to crucify yourself.
Because the crazy thing is, look. The same guy who doing that, it's so many guys out here that do that get killed by people that a civilian.
Yeah,
you'll have a civilian.
I've been looking for you.
A civilian with a CPL. You run up on a civilian with a CPL, try to rob him. You probably done caught 5 bodies and rapped about it. That civilian with a CPL rocked you because you ain't got your gun on him or something happened or whatever. People, that's the thing. Like, and I ain't the toughest guy out here. I ain't saying all that, but when people ran up on me, like, I'm surprised how y'all running up on me acting crazy. Then the moment I know my rights and my laws and I'm defending myself with self-defense and I'm ready to blow y'all back, it never happened. And I don't want that kind of energy. I'm not a beefer. I don't rap beef, none of that. I rap about my life, my story. I ain't dissing nobody. I ain't into it with nobody. None of that. But I had people that ran up on me just thinking they was about to go viral with a camera in my face or run up on me. I'm like, bro, it's multiple attackers running up on me trying to assault me on camera. Y'all think y'all not about to get shot over that?
Right.
Like, and then the moment I'm ready, like, oh no, I ain't mean it like that, bro. I thought you, no, bro, that's why you shouldn't judge people.
And the killing part, right? Exactly, because just because you ain't, people may think that you ain't about it. They'll see just because you don't flash it and be all like that. Like, okay, go on and keep thinking that I'm that way, and you really gonna go that way.
And then the crazy thing is, like, there'll be somebody who kill in the streets, run up on me, get shot, and then it's like, nah, everybody talking, making TikToks about it, and and it's like, bro, but you was a real killer, like, bro, I'm just defending myself. I'm a civilian.
Many killers I know ain't never been caught, ain't never been none of that. That's something you keep your mouth shut about. I can't get with that. This whole new era junk of you telling all that the police got to do is listen to your songs and you crucifying yourself. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, it's just how it is now. But my thing is, imagine being that thug in the islands in Hawaii. Because don't get it wrong, it's good. It's good being cut. It's good being cut and able to defend yourself. Don't be soft out here. But come on, that don't mean just running around crashing your life out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
for real. Because you got to want something better than just being that. Trying to be that. No. And most people that really had to live that is trying to do something different. Just don't want to be stuck right here.
They love me trying to transition. All the big homies, they like, man, look, we love what you're trying to do.
For real.
We love that, bro. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. And it's crazy when I'm gonna be looking back in an island somewhere with property all over Detroit. And then people, oh yeah, I crashed out from my hood. It's like, bro, look, keep that in you, but you ain't got to end it there. Because when I say I did that as a teenager, bro, that's dead, bro. I'm trying to change lives and build a legacy and get rich for real. Or richer, I should say. So, but anything you want to lead them with? This part 1, I feel like we're going to have to do a couple more.
Yeah, we can. But no, I ain't got nothing else to say. Just, I love what you're doing. Because I've witnessed you from birth to now. And the stages that you go on is such great. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have been not here no more. Gone with your dad and stepdaddy. Gone with Uno. You know what I'm saying? And where would I be at?
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? So I love it, and I want you to keep prospering. You know what I'm saying? Big things coming.
Mm-hmm.
More big things, cause that street life ain't it.
Mm-mm.
It's not it at all. I done seen it, done it, been around it. It's not, it don't end well at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we can rock. We can leave it there. But yeah, thanks for watching, y'all. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, ask questions in the comments, and then we gonna come back. And then we gonna do this again. All right, y'all.
See y'all. Now I can hit my breeze.